Hey, welcome back to the Big Rant Show. Thank you for joining me. Now, this one isn't really going to be much of a rant. It's just going to be a discussion and a plea. Now, I know we're dealing with this virus that's already out there right now, and it's very deadly, it's dangerous, and we need to protect ourselves against it best we can, especially that there's not a vaccine. But there is a virus out there that you can protect yourself against, the flu. Now, I know people don't like taking the flu shot for whatever reason. But the fact is, it's better than doing nothing. One, I think it'll help that people are social distancing to a point and that they're washing their hands and wearing masks and things for a good number of people in this country. I think that's actually going to help keep the flu down a little bit. I don't know how bad the flu will be this year. I do know earlier this year, in January and late December of last year, I ran a number of stories over people who didn't get their children vaccinated, who lost their children because they didn't think the flu was anything to worry about. Or one family where it was so tragic that they got the flu shot later in the season, like almost January, and so when the flu season came back around, they didn't think they needed to get their kid another vaccine, even though the flu shot changes every year, every season. Now, I know the flu shot is not 100% effective. The flu shot will not protect you 100% from getting the virus. I understand that. But if you take the flu vaccine, there are a number of things that it can do. One, taking the flu vaccine could prevent you from getting the flu in the first place. Usually somewhere between 30 and 60% is usually the number I see. Now, that said, say you do get the flu. The good thing is, if you take the flu shot, it tends to lean towards better outcomes. You don't tend to get as sick, and you tend to be more easily able to fight it off. And I understand there's the anti-vaxxers out there who just don't believe in it. But I'm going to tell you this. If you're physically able to and you don't have a history or a family history of bad reactions to these vaccines, I suggest you take a flu shot. I suggest you take one every year in order to help yourself stay healthy and to prevent others. Because remember, every time that a virus spreads and is successfully able to spread, it has a chance to mutate. And if your body's not able to fight it off, then it could end up mutating into something far worse than it ever should have been. And unfortunately, just because we have this other stuff going on, doesn't mean the flu is gone. I hear people all the time talk about how, the flu shot, it doesn't do anything. But it does, as I explained earlier. And I hate seeing these stories every year of these people who get the flu without any vaccine and their families are devastated. It's tragic. It doesn't have to happen. As you see over here, those are some of the just basic flu symptoms. But the thing is, flu can do a lot of things. It can turn into sepsis. You could end up with sepsis and die, among many other complications. You could end up with fluid in the lungs and stuff. The flu is not something to play with, people. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're an adult, if you have a child. But from what I was reading last year, apparently there are some versions of the flu that, if kids get it, tend to be more violent towards them and more deadly for them because of the way their body reacts, as you probably remember me discussing from a previous video. But all I can say, people, is please, if you haven't got your flu shot yet, go get a flu shot. Wear your mask. Be as safe as possible. If you're scared to go to a doctor's office for it, they offer them at CVS. They offer them at Walgreens. They offer them at Walmart. They offer them pretty much everywhere that has a pharmacy now, and that can limit your exposure as much to say waiting in a doctor's office for 45 minutes to an hour waiting just to get called back to a room. So, if you have a chance and you haven't, please go get your flu shot. I implore you. I don't want to hear of more people dying from the flu this year. It's so tragic that it happens. And we've had some good years and we've had some bad years. Some years as much as 30 some odd thousand people dying from the flu, and then some years we have 10 or 15,000. So, please, if you haven't, go get your flu shot. As well, keep washing your hands, keep wearing your mask, be careful who you're around, and don't get around in big crowds. That's just obvious. Anyhow, been the Big Ranch Show. I'll see you down the road.